Alright, a 3 and a 2 and a 1. Hello buddy, welcome back to another episode of the Airlines. We are playing more Final Fantasy 14. Last episode I'm pretty sure we did some more custom deliveries, so we probably finished off Charlemont in the last episode. In the next episode, no. And today we're gonna go and unlock the third and final one that I can do at this moment. There's still gonna be 2 more in Stormblood that we're gonna unlock during the patches, so there's a lot of custom deliveries in this expansion. Or well, at this level range, let's say it like that, because these 2 over here, this guy and Charlemont, are both Shadowbringers content, but whatever. Level 70 content, so I'm doing it.
I've been waiting for you. Who better to tell of my studies than the very woman who set me on the course of enlightenment? My knowledge of mankind's histories has grown by leaps and bounds, in no small part thanks to Hot DeLong's expert instruction. L2 is too kind. She has told me so much of Dragonkind in turn that I could hardly call myself the teacher of this arrangement. In fact, the time may soon come to put ink to parchment and begin my chronicles. And we all await that day with bated breath. Hot DeLong has not been my only teacher. The city itself has lessons abound for those who would observe them. Seeing its splendor with my own eyes has made clear one inalienable... Inalienable? That is such a... what? Difference between man and dragon. I'm just thinking about like the fact that that word exists. I speak of course of your kind's love of tinkering, building and crafting. And what a wonderful thing it is to behold. Where dragons are wont to tear down obstacles with fang and claw, you tear them down with hammer and chisel, or else find an ingenious way around them entirely. By using tools tailored to specific tasks, you overcome your natural deficiencies. One tool will be used to wrest precious materials from the earth, and another to transform them into something greater than the sum of its parts. I find the whole process rather fascinating. When I gaze upon the towering spires of the city, I imagine a roost built with my own claws, larger even than the one my sires call home. I'm eager to see my dream realized as quickly as possible, but Hot DeLong advised against rushing into such an endeavor unprepared. He claims that to do so would lead to abject failure and possibly personal injury. You, however, are an experienced artisan, and I would be honored if you were to take me under your wing and teach me the art of making. I swear to be a dutiful I swear to be a dutiful study, and even should this day pass into the next, I won't rest until I've mastered even the most esoteric of skills. Well then, I believe you have an agreement. I can start right this moment, if it pleases you. Now, Alto, you know as well as anyone how busy our friend is, and I also fear you may have misjudged just how long it takes to truly become a master craftsman. You mean it will take more than a day? I knew that, of course. I'd only hoped against hope that she had no appointments to save the world for the foreseeable future. Alas, my enthusiasm may have gotten the better of me. Don't fret, Elto. She may still be able to help in some capacity. Perhaps if you could introduce us to a crafter with both the time and inclination to teach. I expect that one of the many artisans around the firmament would be willing to lend us their expertise, although you are in a far better position to judge their suitability than either of us. We shall look forward to meeting our mentor-to-be.
Right, I think it's Dragon Boy, right? Like a half dragon man. I say again, that's scrawny little dragonling wants to craft. Whatever next. As much as the notion of having a dragon for a protege piques my interest, however my speciality is working metal. Great big slabs of it. Were she older, maybe there'd be a place for her, but as it stands, she'd be more of a hindrance than a help. Show me more. Oblivious Gatherer.
Oh, a crafter, my apologies, but I'm more inclined to gathering what bounty the earth has to offer. I leave it to others to mold said bounty into what they will. I'd love to introduce you to someone who might be of help, but I'm afraid my work here is endless.
I love it when people give me a fancy version of no. There we are. Skysteel Engineer. I know the dragonette you speak of. I've seen her flitting about House Hailnard from time to time. Quite the inquisitive one, if I recall. So she wants to learn the fine art of crafting, does she? I've heard strange things in my time, but few as bizarre as that. I'm sure I'd kick myself later if I passed up this opportunity, so I reckon I could find time between projects to teach her a thing or two. Tell her I'll speak with her after I've finished up here, will you? Of course it's the crafter that's the farthest away. This song goes like so unnecessarily hard.
The hero's returned. So, have you found my teacher? Whose sharp eyes and steady hand will guide me on the path to mastery?
Such great expectations I must meet. While I assure you my hand is steady, the sharpness of my eye is very much a matter of conjecture. Nevertheless, if it's crafting you wish to learn, I am your man, although I can't say I've ever had the honor of teaching a dragon before. Enroute, I'm Arvid, at your service. A mere interferment on alignment from the on assignment. What the fuck is wrong with me? From the Skysteel Manufactory, and I dare say have a few nuggets of wisdom knocking around in my head that are worth passing around. It's the young who must shoulder the burden of building the future, after all. Now, crafters come in all sorts, from cooks to weavers to smiths. Have you given any thought to where you want to focus your energies?
Focus? Well, can't I learn everything? Artisan, where should an aspiring artisan begin?
Categorizing one must look first at their tools. Even simplest project I must start with quality materials. Why bother learning when you can just copy others? Nah. Yeah, I feel like tools would be a pretty good starting point. Spoken like a true professional. This tool is an essential part of any project is selecting the right tools for the job. However, there's a step that becomes even before that. For now, let's start with the tools required to gather our own materials. Once you have the right equipment and supplies, there's nothing you can't make with enough elbow grease.
Oh, how splendid! It is to have a guiding hand. There's no telling how long it would have taken Hotdilong and I to decide where to begin had we been left to our own devices. Very well. Gathering is where we shall pour our utmost efforts. Mayhap when I am a seasoned artisan of my own right, I'll take it upon myself to teach my kin as I was taught. Now wouldn't that be a sight to see? I dare say there has never been a dragon who has learned a trade, let alone one who has passed such skills on to the next generation. Indeed, you may be correct on that count. The other dragons will be flabbergasted by the wonders I create. Of course, I don't plan on taking all the credit. It seems to me that mankind's most culturally significant works are those that result from collaboration, of people working together to make something greater than they could have alone. To that end, I must study and learn from the works of others, and even though you are too busy with your heroics to teach me daily, I would much appreciate if you would come by from time to time and offer what knowledge you can.
I like how he says that while I've been fucking neglecting literally everything.
Magnificent! I knew your generosity would match the greatness of your deeds.
Well then, let's get your education started off on the right foot, eh? You can spy tradesmen of all sorts plying their trade at the new nest. I reckon you could certainly do worse than to learn a couple of tricks from them.
The place is practically a second home to young Hotdilong and I. Allow me to lead the way.
Ooh. Oh boy. The big yawn. This here is Anna, and we have her and the House of Splendors to thank for supplying the firmament with quality materials at incredibly low prices. Suspiciously so, in fact. Are you implying there is some ulterior motive behind our generosity? Why, certainly not.
I'm here at the behest of my organization to aid Ishgard in its fledgling days as an allied nation. We are driven as much by philanthropy as we are by profit, I can assure you. Excuse me, miss, but are you a craftswoman by any chance? I'm afraid, my adorable little dragonet, that my hands are entirely too clumsy to make aught aside from my morning tea. The 12 have seen fit to bless me with a sharp mind for trade, however, and so here I am. And that's precisely why we've come. Elto has it in her head to learn a trade or two, and we are here to set her on the right path. To that end, I would ask you to provide us with materials, and perhaps any counsel you might afford a young novice. It would be my pleasure. Perhaps in return, she could tell me all about the rarities and relics dragons keep in their lairs. I sense a once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity has come before me. And if business in the firmament grows as much as my intuition says it will, this might just be what I require to turn a stream of gil into a veritable flood of riches. I hate those false nails. Sorry. Consider me at your complete disposal. Say the word and I shall procure whatever you may need. How generous of you. Yavar's thanks, Miss Anna. Anything to foster the next generation of builders and thinkers, my boy. As for the current generation, well, I suppose the house could bear to part with a few scripts in return for guiding our dragonet friend on her journey to mastery. Boop, boop, boop. We can't say no to an offer like that, can we? Well then, now that we're all acquainted, let's head back to St. Roy's. Is it Roy's? Is that Roel's? Roy's? No, it's not Ryu. No, Ryu was the Ivy. I guess Roel's Dias. Whatever. French. Not my strong side. I have a basic understanding of French and pronunciations in French, but definitely not enough to be 100% sure of whether or not my pronunciations are correct. Teleport. Telefort. Boulevard of telephones. With Master Arvid and Master Lin guiding us, I'm sure we'll be raising fortresses and forging dazzling suits of armor in no time at all. Let's keep our ambitions manageable for the time being, shall we? Our first task is the construction of tools that'll fit snugly in those claws of yours. Lin, I trust you can help with that. In the meantime, I have work on my own to attend to. If there is aught you need, you know where I am. Before I depart, however, I'll leave you with an assignment. Inspect everything Lin does with diligence. The discerning eye is a tool that will outlast all others. Yes, Master Arvid. We'll give we'll give Lin's work the thrice over. Completer. L2 deliveries unlocked. Right. Instead of going into that menu, because it's going to give me the massive tutorial, I'm just going to go in here. Let's see, so it's crafting, or not, gathering tool, right. The crafting stuff comes later. I should be able to just buy it and make it with relative ease. I hate how when I swap, I pop sprint on one of my crafters, then I swap to something else, and then my sprint buff disappears. I keep forgetting that. Right, gathering tool components. And since I am high level, so I'm over leveled, one may even say, I can just do the trained eye. There's also some stuff that has changed in the crafters, which, well, I just kind of got rid of focused, which I guess makes sense. I don't remember ever using focused stuff. In general, like after, as one would expect when a new expansion releases, a lot of stuff has changed. There's some job stuff that I'm, well, that I am not entirely, actually, I'm not even going to say not entirely, just in general not used to yet. But we're still going to have to do all of the crafters quest lines, so it'll take a while and be able to get used to all the rotations again. But chances are pretty dang high that I'm gonna fumble my way around the first couple of
first couple of duties that I need to do. Depends on which job, though. Right. I probably should have read that final one. Whatever. Oh, it's good to see you. Been meaning to thank you for all your help with Elto's education.
An education which is off to a splendid start, I must say. I believe I have developed a keen sense for the finer parts of gathering, which Master Arvid says is the basis of all crafting. But even for gathering, you must have tools. And to make those tools, you must gather materials. And to gather those materials, you must have more tools. Ah, it's tools all the way down, isn't it? Or is it materials? Ah, no matter. It's as much a fool's errand as trying to guess if the dragon came before the egg. If there is one fact to be gleaned from that conundrum, however, it is that crafting and gathering are inextricably linked.
Indeed, you are correct. Without one trait, the other dies, and vice versa. That's precisely why I aim to see you proficient at both before our time together is done. To that end, I have devised something specially for those tiny claws of yours. An L2-sized pickaxe. Here, take it. What do you think?
It's perfect. With that in claw, you'd look right at home among the rest of the workers. I see, now that even though you wingless ones lack fang and claw, or whatever, that's fine, let's say, you have the strength to shatter stone and sunder earth. I have an inkling now how powerful the first of you to wield a pickaxe felt. For something so small and light, it is remarkably sturdy. Even I could swing this all day without tiring. The hidden treasure of the world shall be mine. This is all I could have hoped for and more. Thank you, Master Arvid.
All I did was put the parts together. It was our friend that did all the hard work. Actually, Lynn brought so many materials that I had enough to make a few more pickaxes. Perhaps you could give them to your dragon friends?
Yes, Master Arvid, I shall take what I can and leave at once.
A crafting connoisseur! Well, hey. All it remains is to wait for the fruits of her labor.
Welcome back, Elto. So how was it? I'm sure the other dragons found your new tools to be quite fascinating. Well, you see, I'm afraid it wasn't quite like that. The dragonets were delighted to see what I had brought, of course. The elder dragons, however, practically flew into a rage, haranguing the younger ones, and insisting that such tools are contrary to a dragon's very nature.
Oh, I see.
Although it was far from the enthusiastic reception I'd envisioned, I still believe that the prejudices of the past will, nay, must, give way to new ways of thinking if we are to coexist peacefully with Tyr's guardians. And I know for certain there are those among the other dragonets who are of the same mind. I must continue to persevere, else my efforts so far will have been for naught. Indeed, the other dragons will come around in time, I'm sure. Even the most cantankerous of the lot. That is a word, Jesus Christ. Perhaps you should take a different tack. The dragons might be much more amenable to something that was crafted by one of their own, namely you. What a marvelous suggestion, Hatalang. But there is still the question of what I might craft, something eye-catching unlike anything they've ever seen before.
In that case, why not try your hand at weaving? The materials are lightweight and tools are small enough for even you to use deftly. Clothing designed for dragons would be especially novel, which I'm sure many of them would find interesting.
That's a wonderful idea. Oh, I cannot wait to get started.
That depends on our friend here. I'll need some help procuring the materials if it's not too much trouble. I'll give a list of what we need while I take care of the rest.
Great, in the meantime I shall give thought to what exactly I might weave.
Right, and then we have the next set of custom deliveries available, but I have no allowances anymore, so next week I'm gonna be done with Stormblood, and then we're gonna be continuing with L2. Anyway, I'm gonna be right back. Okay, be right back for the next turn-in for good old L2. Which will, I think, give us a quest, probably? If we... the end. Pfft, I can't speak. My brain is gone. Has been for like 2 weeks at least. It may give us another quest in the middle of this, but I'm not 100% sure, because we're halfway in satisfaction. There we go. Ah, the woman of the hour arrives. My thanks for furnishing us with the weaving supplies we requested. I took the liberty of arranging the rest of what we need, so I believe we're well prepared to begin our next lesson. And, sorry, what say you, Alto? We have the materials and we have the tools. Do you have the desire to learn? Yes, of course, Master Arvid. Teach me all you know. You too, Master Lin. I know you'll give it your all, Alto. Behold, my very first items of clothing, sewn by my own cloth. Have you ever seen a dragon more dashing? My design took inspiration from Master Arvid's cap, in case you hadn't noticed. Imitation is the highest form of flattery indeed. Truth be told, if I didn't know any better, I'd say that cap was sewn by a seasoned weaver. Yes, very impressive. Never in my life have I imagined a dragon donning a cap, let alone crafting one. That labor was painstaking, and I must admit I contemplated giving up more than once. However, now that the work is done, I feel a sense of accomplishment unequaled by aught else. So this is why you wingless ones pursue the art of creation. I simply must teach the other dragonets what I've learned. I'm certain there are many and more who would be willing to bring their own ideas to life. I simply must show my friends in the churning mist. If they show sufficient interest, perhaps I will weave caps for them to wear too. Take care, Alto, and give your brothers and sisters my regards. I am now a talented teacher. Always have been. Yes. No. All remains is to wait for the fruits of our labor. Is there another cutscene after this? Yeah. Ah, I'd forgotten just how dapper you look in your new accoutrements. I trust your friends up in the class were just as taken with your new appearance? Indeed they were, particularly the dragons that are of age with me. They likened it to being able to change the color of their scales at will. I invited them to return to the firmament, but it seems they're still hesitant to mingle with people. Can't blame them, I suppose. Were it not for you, I too may have given up on my journey and returned to the clouds, wondering what may have been. I have learned to overcome my fear of your kind. Would that I could say the same of my kin. We don't bite. Those are always afraid, cannot hope to. Fuck, man. Why would you write this game? Why would you write this? Are you sure you're not still frightened of us? I'm gonna say this because it makes a lot of sense, it just hurts me on a personal way. Of course, your wisdom is always appreciated, hero. I'm glad I found the courage to fly into the unknown. From where I'm standing, it seems clear that you must find a way to allay their fears. Show them that crafting and thereby your friendship with those that teach it to you is something that enriches, not harms. Yes, Master Arvid, you're brilliant. I should do precisely that. My new garments may be fashionable. I could never hope to make one for every dragon in its churning mist. There may be another way to their hearts. What are you thinking, Alto? It's also obvious, now that I've thought of it. I speak, of course, of that favorite pastime of man and dragon alike, eating. When first I arrived in Isgard, I was overwhelmed with the smells wafting from the marketplace. So many spices and aromas mixing together set my mouth to watering. It's that never before. Yep. Perhaps I can bring that experience to my kin. Ah, it's a capital idea. Every creature needs to eat, but not all have the pleasure of fine dining. Seems the matter is settled then. Then let's take care of the supplies Alto will need to ready this feast. Alto and I will put our heads together and decide which foods might best suit the dragon palate. I already have several ideas.
Oh, more? Oh. There you are, you have my utmost gratitude for all your delivery so far. I fear that before long I will be able to call myself a crafter in truth, just like you and Master V. Of course, young Hot DeLong's efforts deserve recognition as well.
That's it? Okay. Alright, so no quest. I'd expect there to be a quest, but nope, it's not here. So yeah, that's it for this little recording, and I'll be right back for the next set. Alright, I'm back again for more custom delivery dialogue. Another week, another tier. We are very close to being done. Can I just like do this with another one now though? Because I've got 90 on this. I guess leather work would be pretty good because doing leather worker stuff is annoying. Because it requires annoying tools. Annoying tools? Yeah, no, annoying materials. Meanwhile, I'm sort of filling on purple scripts. Don't even know what I... Well, I have an idea about what they're using on, but I wonder what I did with my earlier ones. Don't really know. You've been hard at work, haven't you? With all the time your industrious efforts have saved us. I've taken it upon myself. All the tools... Wait, what the fuck? I can't read. You've been hard at work, haven't you? With all the time your industrious efforts have saved us, I've taken it upon myself to make all the tools we'll need for our next step. Cooking. Take these, Hilda.
Many thanks, Master V. What, do they suit me?
I dare say you would fit right in alongside the chefs at the Forgotten Nights. You now hold two of the most useful tools for any chef: a skillet for frying and a hatchet for gathering your own ingredients. Of course, you also need seasoning and myriad other smaller utensils. Oh, and flame, of course. Anyway, I've arranged everything for you, so take a good look and remember what you see.
Finally, we've arrived at cooking. Since we began, I've been imagining the feast I'll prepare for the other dragons. It shall be nothing like they've tasted before.
Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Perhaps more so than any other form of crafting, cooking relies on a firm grasp of the fundamentals. You must practice them until they come to you as naturally as breathing.
Well, that means the more I practice, the more I get to eat, yes? I should be happy to agree to such an arrangement.
Good, but a word of warning. You may find it hard to stomach your own cooking in the beginning. Now, let's visit Anna and get ourselves some bird sap. Making syrup from that is one of the simplest and most delicious recipes a budding chef can know. And what's more, be they low or highborn, not a soul in Ishgard can say no to a dollop of it. If our first go of it turns out alright, make sure to share some with Hot DeLong.
Eltor's journey has been long indeed, and it seems she still has a ways to go. As every crafter goes through the hardship she has?
Yes.
That is heartening news. Truth be told, I had some doubts as to whether or not she was suited to this, but I see now that she is in good company. As am I. Speaking of which, Elto has told me much and more of her kind. And I've taken painstaking notes every step of the way. I feel the day I can begin writing my chronicles is fast approaching.
Why? A skillful supervisor. Super. All that remains is to wait for the fruits of her labor.
Otterlang, taste this syrup I made. I dare say it's indistinguishable from that produced by a seasoned chef. This is delicious. You have a knack for this, Elto.
At the same thought, you can have more. You can have more later, but for now let's concentrate on the task in front of us. Keep well away from the jar. I'll know if you've snuck your hand inside. Speaking of tasks, have you two come up with any ideas regarding what to serve at this feast of yours?
Yes, eventually I suggested one of my favorites, liver cheese sandwiches. They're small enough that even a young dragon like Elto can eat them easily, and a sandwich is so much more of a novelty than a piece of bread. But then Elto brought up a good point. Dragons aren't used to rich flavor, so liver cheese might be off-putting to some. In the end, we decided to go with a lightly seasoned fish for the fillet. Perhaps one day dragons will come to appreciate the wonder of liver cheese, but for now I'm confident we can make a sandwich that will be the talk of the Churning Mist. You certainly put a lot of consideration into this. Impressive, lad. And you too, Elto. Seems all that's left is to gather the proper ingredients, then. And that's where you come in, Lynn. We will wait here and further discuss how we might make the sandwich one to remember. I am the sandwich one. That's what not the pixies, that's what the sylphs call me. The sandwich one. Alright, so once again, no quest in between, it seems. There you are. You have my utmost gratitude for all your deliveries so far. Nope, is it a quest? I feel that before long, I will be able to call myself a crafter in truth, just like you and Master Veed. Of course, young Hattelong's efforts deserve recognition as well. Okay. Alright, sure. Well, anyway, that's it for this little part. So I will be right back to finish off the final custom deliveries person that we can do right now in Stormblood. There's still 2 more of them to go once we go to the patches. Alright, I'm back after more time than should have passed because I actually forgot to do this for 2 weeks. So here we are. Let us go and finish off this custom delivery. And then I'm gonna go and unlock the other one that I unlocked by continuing the story of Stormblood. But yeah, I'm gonna need this to be finished. And it would also just be nice to have it be finished. I don't really care too much about her having scripts. So I'm just gonna throw the excess away. Which is painful for some people, probably. To watch somebody do such horrible things. Anyway, let's see if I remember how to speak. Thanks to you, Elto is ready to share the project of her hard work with her dragon friends. I'd say they're in for quite a treat. I gathered a few ingredients of my own, and together with what you've brought, we've made sandwiches using Kaiser rolls. I've tasted them myself, and I've never had any better. Dragons might find this type of food a bit puzzling at first, but I'm sure the taste will be to their liking. Elto, you had best get to it while it's still fresh, or get it to them. Whatever, I can't. Like I said, there was a question if I could still read, and the answer is no. Yes, yeah, of course. Elto, are you alright? Yes, quite alright, thank you. Anyway, I must be off at once. I would hate for the bread to stale and the meat to dry. Farewell. Also, like, I just, like, shaved my beard. Like, I let my beard grow out a little longer. And I just shaved it, and it feels so weird. Didn't shave off everything, mind you, but... did shave off a lot. I had a lot of beard. I underestimated how much beard I actually had. Bum bum bum. Alright, and then we get one more quest at the end. So just gonna... okay. You've been quite busy, haven't you? Your efforts are much appreciated. While my dragonkin have yet to show an interest in the art of crafting, I assure you my desire to learn remains as keen as ever. Suppose I should count myself fortunate that I have a friend such as you to help me along when the road to mystery seems interminable. Interminable? That's a weird. That is a weird, yes. Not a word, a weird. Still weird to see Lynn and, like, after the graphics update, since Aura have changed so much, at least female Aura. At last, my culinary masterwork is ready to be shared with my kin. Thanks to the guidance of my capable teachers, I believe I've cooked up something that will have even the most stubborn among them clamoring for more. Doubtless even they are eagerly awaiting my arrival, their whispers of what I might bring filling the Churning Mist with expectation. I'd best leave at once. There are few things more unpleasant than a hungry dragon. Safe travels, Elto. So dizzy, wings aching. Now I must move forward, before the food cools and with it the esteem of my kin. Alto, is something the matter? No, not at all, not at all. In fact, I'm positively effervescent. Now, wait right here. I'll be back before you've even realized I've gone.
Yes, are we going to pray return?
Shouldn't have taken this long. Come to think of it, Alto was acting rather strangely before she departed. Perhaps we should ask Master Arvid for counsel. He seems to have a solution for every problem. Oh, I hope nothing untoward had happened. I'll stay here and keep watch for Alto. I pray you and Master Arvid can get to the bottom of this.
There's also like a lot of tiny hairs. A lot of tiny bunnies coming off of my beard. Also, I forgot to mention this, but well, it doesn't really matter too much. My window is opened up, so if you hear any peculiar background noise, it should probably be a noise from outside. Good evening. What brings you here? Not to mention, I haven't seen Alto since she left with her delivery. You're certain she hasn't returned? I meant to give her this hammer I made as a little reward for her efforts, considering how hard she's been working. I wouldn't be surprised if she's just gone for a leisurely stroll, or a fly, I suppose? A flit? And right, she is a dragon, albeit a tiny one. Try as they might, we would be fools to think we understand even a fraction of what goes on in her head. I'm sure she'll return in her own time. Still, if you must go look for her, take the hammer. I've no doubt her eagerness to learn how to use it would send her back here as fast as her little wings can carry her. She often goes on at length about her dragonette friends at this place called Zenith, somewhere in the Churning Mist. If that rings a bell to you, I reckon it might be a good place to start. Please don't tell me they're all the way up there. Okay.
Oh, is that what I think it is? The very year where triumphed over Nidhogg and brought peace between our kinds? From all the stories Alto has told of you, I expected a bit more grandeur. Sports pierces come second when you spend your days working with your class, or pants, or a. Nevertheless, I must thank you for taking the time to pass down such refined arts to my friends. We just so enjoy seeing what she brings. You're looking for her. She's visiting friends not far from here, gushing over that, what was it? Cooking of hers. Delectable stuff that, to think there was more to food than scorching and chomping. Considering the distance you've traveled, I'm terribly sorry to say that she specifically requested not to let anyone from the surface see her until she was ready. She was quite insistent, in fact. Still, I'm sure she would be delighted to receive that deadly-looking trinket of yours. What did you call it? A hammer? Looks far too heavy for me to wield myself. But I should be able to carry it without dropping it. That is, unless I choose to drop it. Those muggles who've been pestering me are in need of some long-overdue comeuppance. Anyway. I shall let her know, I shall let her know you've arrived, but let me warn you that it may be some time until she's willing to show herself. Now pass that hammer of yours over here. I pray it is not as unwieldy as it looks. A hammer designed to fit in the claws of any enterprising dragon or dragonette wishing to learn the fine arts of crafting. So this is one of those tools your wingless ones are so fond of. Are all of them as complex as this one? It shall be safe in my keeping, I assure you. I wouldn't have the slightest idea of how to use it, even if I wanted. Now wait here, and I shall return. When, however, I cannot say.
Mister, there you are. I think is Hotling the child? Yeah, Hotling's the child, yeah. Suddenly got like a man. Surprised to see us, I take it. Young Hotling got it in his head to come searching for Alto, and there wasn't a thing I could say to sway him. Try as I might to distract him with work, somehow he managed to book us a trip across the Sea of Clouds. So wonder we caught up to you, all things considered. Just how long have you been waiting here?
Where is she, Mr. Dare? Where's Elto?
Why wouldn't you want to see us? It doesn't make any sense. As I yawn in the middle of this. Rude.
Elto, can you hear me? Where are you? Oh, shush. You'll wake something bigger than a dragon up with all that shouting. Huh? That scarf, that hat, wait. Elto, is that you? I knew you would recognize me. Still, an explanation may be in order. You see, a dragon's growth is dictated by forces both internal and external. Sometimes its growth can be quite dramatic, as you can plainly see. Truth be told, I've been feeling out of sorts lately, but now that I see that discomfort was merely the no me trying to break free, and now, here she is, a dragon reborn. I'm so glad you're right. I'm more than alright, by the looks of things. This new tool is wonderful. It's as if Master Vegan knew I was on the brink of incredible change. Had I received this hammer but a day earlier, I would have held it clumsily in my tiny claws. Now, however, it feels like an extension of my very body. My mind is brimming with possibilities of what I might craft next. The graph is unlike aught I have seen before. Such a spectacular transformation has already made you the topic of much discussion among dragonkind, and I imagine not a small amount of jealousy.
See? What did I tell you to? There's no need for all that fretting and fussing. Still, if not for young Hadalong's concerned, who knows if I would have ever set foot in the Churning Mist.
I apologize for causing undue worry, but I pray you understand how embarrassing it would have been if anyone saw me before I was ready. And now you are the first to behold a dragon, not warped by conflict and strife, but nourished by peace and fellowship. Well, not the first, surely. Only the first in quite some time. When man and dragon lived in harmony, maturation like mine may have been more common. Wait, what? Whatever. I can't read, sorry. I think there may be something to that, Elto. If we ask around, we may just find a dragon with stories of those halcyon days. At the very least, it would be a chance to make new friends among the clouds. And we can start with our present company. I'd be eager to hear of your life here. Me? Why, I would be delighted, although I have seen scarcely more summers than Elto. She has regaled me with many tales of the wingless ones that build and tinker, far from the primitive brutes I believed they were. Her stories told of an inventive and adventurous people. While I thought the stories fanciful, I now see that if anything, they weren't fanciful enough. Mayhap I too shall journey down below the clouds and live among mankind for a time. Enjoy my claws at this crafting of yours. You'll be more than welcome. Indeed. It's not that we set out to accomplish from the... wait. Is this not what we set out to accomplish from the onset? To bring man and dragon closer, one step at a time? I believe we are well on our way. I should do my part by spreading the word far and wide. Surely I'm not the only dragon interested in following Elto's path.
I can barely see my screen with the freaking sun shining on it.
The more the merrier. I suppose we should return with haste and tell Lord Fancel to expect a few more visitors to Ishgard. Even one so level-headed as he may be caught off guard by a sudden influx of dragons.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny because it's not like the sunlight directly on my screen. The sunlight is actually like directing to the white radiator freaking behind me, and it's like reflecting onto my screen. So yeah, looks like no matter what I try, I still get fucked. Firmament. Firmament!
Of course, the Dare deserves her share of the credit as well. Were it not for your tutelage, I would not have grown as I have, and in doing so finally compel my friends to come mingle with the men and women of Ishgard. Lord Fancel was most understanding when we informed him of what we had planned. He gave his word to ensure that none of the less savory elements of the city would bring harm to its new visitors. Even now he is working to inform those with authority in Ishgard to welcome my brothers and sisters. Before long, the sight of wings in the skies will fill the hearts of men not with dread but with elation.
The industriousness of these two never fail to impress. We might do well to learn from them, eh?
I would also like to thank Artisan. Had he not come to the Churning Mists, the idea of befriending our erstwhile nemesis may have earned naught but an idle fancy for the other dragons. But thanks to his affable nature, the first spark of curiosity has been struck in our hearts. You're too kind, Elto. I for one can't wait to see this place alive with the sound of dragons and man conversing in good faith. And with one endeavor having reached a satisfactory conclusion, I believe it may be time to begin another. My time spent with Elto has provided me with more than enough notes to begin my chronicles. But I must first compile and arrange them.
Then you'd best begin sooner rather than later, lad. Once you're finished, bring it to the manufactory and I'll see about producing some illustrations to give your book a little flair.
Now isn't that a marvelous idea? You can fill the book with pictures so that even dragons who cannot read your letters can understand. Oh, what harmonious songs such a work can inspire. Songs, perhaps, that can be sung in unison. In fact, I believe I may have my title, An Ode to Unity. Man and dragon shall come to a deeper understanding, and I hope appreciation of the others by reading it.
Not bad, lad. Not bad at all. Well then, it sounds to me like we've quite a lot of work ahead of us. I'd best get started.
Then might I trouble you to assist Master Hottelang in the completion of his chronicle? I can think of nary a more ambitious work. This book may prove to be the very foundation for long-lasting peace. For my part, I shall continue making deliveries to the Churning Mist, that my brothers and sisters there might be enticed to join their brethren here.
Why? Camprito! Yes. Another printing essentials. Yep. And then a quest. I was really hoping that there wasn't gonna be another quest, but there is another quest.
Mister there you are. Elto and I have been thinking of how we can repay you for all your help. After much deliberation, we decided to ask Master V to help us craft a bespoke item just for you. I hope he hasn't spoiled our surprise. When last we spoke, he said that the project was nearing completion. Perhaps he is finished by now? Oh, I do hope you like it.
Okay, it's not a long quest. Good. The reason I'm so worried about time is because I don't have a lot of time tonight. Ah, welcome. I take it you've spoken to Hottelang then? Well, here we go. Elto was most insistent I designed this horn just so. Blow on it, and the little dragon will fly to your side wheresoever you may be. Although I suppose I can't call her little anymore, eh? It's only natural that as she grows, her desire to see more of the world would grow as well. That's why she wanted you to have this. Show her every corner of the civilized world and introduce her to the people of all sorts. She'll need a wide breadth of knowledge if she means to paint her kin the full picture of our kind. When I first agreed to help Elto, I had no inkling I might be contributing to something much larger than myself. Whatever comes of her efforts, in the end, I must say I'm honored to have played my small part in it. Thanks for giving me this opportunity, friend. And with that, we now get the Elto whistle, which allows us to, well, quite simply, fly with Elto. Or just use Elto as a mouse. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Dance. We were playing Final Fantasy XIV. At the next episode, let's see. Well, actually, I'm not even going to say what's in the next episode, because last time that I said it, I was entirely wrong. Anyway, you will see what'll happen in the next episode when it comes out. Goodbye.